So students who have participated in that in some form or fashion, there's around a 70% retention rate.
That's
So
good.
students who are exposed to this, participate, are more likely to go on and to complete what they start. And so it's been to review that preliminary data and to see that students are still enrolled, students are still continuing. It is an indication that we're headed in the right direction to accomplishing what we wanted to accomplish.
Welcome to Tech Talk at WSU Tech. I'm Dr. Sheree Utash, and today I'm so happy to have Crystal Aluko with me today. Crystal,
Hello.
welcome.
Thank you.
Why don't you introduce yourself and talk a little bit about what your role is at WSU Tech and the work that you're doing?
Yes. Well, my name is Crystal Aluko, and I serve as the Director of Inclusion and Student Success at WSU Tech. I have the opportunity to work cross collaboratively with the college on inclusion initiatives or things that support creating a culture where everyone can thrive, they can learn, they can work. And then I also oversee our new student orientation, which is called On Deck at Tech. So I have the fun task of onboarding students, getting them excited about their new educational experience, and making sure they're prepared to navigate that with confidence.
So, On Deck at Tech,
Yes.
where did it start? Where did it get its name? And how did it begin?
Yes, well, it began actually back in 2022. It was a presidential initiative, and basically, there was a committee called Same Team, One Role, One Goal. Same Team, One Role, One Goal,
Which is one of our values.
which is one of our values, one of our 6 values. And you had the vision to bring different representatives of the college together to develop a cohesive new student orientation program. So through that year, academic year, came together and just talked about what it would look like. There were different components of orientation that some other programs had, but it varied in terms of the content that was covered. And so to ensure there was some alignment, all the students were getting the same information, came together, talked about what that could look like, as well as some essential things we wanted students to experience and complete to make sure that they were successful. So came together, talked about that, and then the next thing I know, my role evolved, and you all asked me to take on the task of implementing On Deck at Tech, and so got that started back in 2024. The name came from, I think, just kind of thinking it from the perspective of onboarding, a cruise, right,
Mhm.
is always fun. And so the fun experience of coming on board and taking on a new adventure and a new task. And so that's kind of where the name On Deck at Tech came from.
So it was a very grassroots effort, and it was
Yes.
very cross-departmental, cross-disciplinary, lots of
Yes.
staff, faculty, lots of
Hmm.
people in that group that helped
Yes.
design this.
Yes.
So a lot of times from, design to implementation and then to plan, do, check, act, and revise.
Hmm.
Ho What's it been like? I mean, from what it was originally envisioned to what you're actually working on today, how closely is it aligned to that? What's changed? What surprised you?
Wow, that's a great question. So, yes, it started out as this huge, massive thing, and then it kind of got to a place where, okay, this is a big piece of the pie. I can take the pie piece by piece and figure out how to implement what needed to be done. And so, uh, because I had prior experience with just first year experience in general and orientation, and had been a part of it within my career and higher education, it wasn't at all intimidating. It was just figuring out how to implement, make sure I connect with the right
Mhm.
offices, the right departments to get things done. And so and everyone was very supportive of it, and they saw that it was something essential. So it was just a matter of connecting and saying, "Hey, I need this. How can we work together?" And we were able to make it happen. And so there were a lot of moving parts, but like I said, since I had been there before in some regard, it was just like, "Hey, I know this needs to be done. I know we have to get through this." Um, in terms of what has surprised me about it, there hasn't been a whole lot. I think what I've been navigating is providing flexible and accessible formats for students that work for them in their schedule because we have a diverse group of students with varying needs,
Mhm,
different schedules.
mhm.
And so providing the right amount of time, the appropriate engagement so they feel like that is a good use of their time and it's a valuable experience for them. So
So for people that might not that are viewing, that might
mhm,
not know what's in On Deck at Tech,
mhm.
what does a student receive from On Deck at Tech?
Yes, it is essentially a two-part experience that begins with an orientation day, and then they are subsequently enrolled in an 8-week orientation course. And so the goal is for them to develop confidence in beginning their educational experience, as well as to network, make connections, and be proactive in seeking out resources that they feel that will help support them in college. And so throughout our time, we cover kind of 5 essential topics. We talk about mental health and well-being. And along with that,
Mhm.
we address resources that we offer to support that. We talk about academic success, community and belonging, as well as safety, and then how to navigate the technology that we have available for them. And then it's interactive. And so different campuses offer different experiences.
Mhm.
But for example, on our WSU Tech South campus, we're able to provide somewhat of a scavenger hunt, which is fun for the students to be able to walk around and navigate the campus. And we collaborate with our collab, which offers interactive technology. So they get to go in there and visit that space and see how that can support them and their learning. And it's great not just for students who actually are taking classes on that campus, but it's also great for students that may be taking classes at other campuses
Mhm.
because we let them know that you're welcome here too. Also, for example, tutoring is on this campus. And so just because you're not going to be here primarily doesn't mean that you can't come to this campus and take advantage of this resource. And then we invite different departments to come in and share about the support that they offer. So, for example, um, our new student mentoring program, we've
Mhm.
been able to launch that successfully in collaboration with our director of mentoring because students have been introduced to it and they want to take advantage of that experience. Our student success coaches come in so they can put a name with a face and a department. And that kind of minimizes some of the barriers that students may encounter when coming in and saying, "Hey, I need this support. Who do I connect with?" And so I already know through that
So, Crystal, I
experience.
love what you're doing because it's so important for students.
Mhm.
And we also know that students, to retain students, they need to connect with some other
Mhm.
person or some other group during their college experience other
Mhm.
than their faculty.
Yes.
So, what do students say about this?
Well, students that engage with this experience and they take advantage of it, they love it. They love the opportunity to, in hindsight, they come in with some knowledge, but to get the specifics. So, financial aid is typically a big topic
Mhm.
that they want to know about. So, we tell them, how to maintain good standing. So, it's key information that you get, during advising or meeting with the financial aid counselor, but you may forget. And those are the things that we focus on. They like connecting with students from across the college. Would they students are going to be on multiple campuses, but the chance to connect with someone that is in our culinary arts program or someone that is in our machining program, then they may not interact with them moving forward, but they get a chance to see how big the campus is and all the different people that are represented, and they get a student success kit.
Oh, they
So
do.
yeah,
Okay,
so they
what's
get
that?
swag.
The
So
swag is good.
WSU Tech swag is good, and so the student success kit has a couple of essentials, such as a personalized WSU Tech student planner. So that
Mhm.
has some key information in it, and then with academic success, we promote organization and making sure you're planning out your schedule so they're able to use that. It comes with a stylus pen that includes a highlighter and some post-it notes, WSU Tech post-it notes. We also offer a little mental health sticker that is interactive that they can stick on, a water bottle, a laptop, or a book, and then a T-shirt. So to
And the T-shirt
commemorate
says what?
on deck at Tech.
On deck at Tech.
Yes, and they love those, and it's fun, within the first few weeks of school to see students wearing those T-shirts proudly, to basically um, say, "Hey, I've been a part of this experience. I'm prepared. I'm a WSU Tech student,
Mhm.
and I'm a part of this community." And then they get a drawstring bag, so it's fun. Like I said, within the first few weeks, to see students carrying around those bags, and for me, it's nice because I can make a connection with them again, especially if I see them. I'm like, "Hey, you were in on deck at Tech. How are things going?" So,
So a couple of reasons we wanted to do this, and I know
mhm,
you probably remember this
mhm,
because you were involved in it, but
mhm,
one was to make sure that students have what they need to be day one ready,
mhm,
right?
mhm,
And
mhm,
the other thing is this connection, this relationship piece, and what that might do for retention.
mhm, mhm.
So talk about that a little bit. I mean, you may not have
Yes,
specific numbers, but talk
yes.
about how those things, what have the outcomes been on those couple of things that we were really, building this for?
Yes. Well, our original intention for developing and reviving new student orientation on Deck at Tech was because we wanted to address opportunity gaps, we wanted to increase retention, and then we wanted to increase success among students in some of our programs. And our preliminary data shows that we've been able to accomplish just that. So, students who have participated in this experience. Again, we have orientation day and a course and the course. And so students who have participated in that in some form or fashion, there's around a 70% retention rate.
That's
So
good.
students who are exposed to this, participate, are more likely to go on and to complete what they start. And so it's been to review that preliminary data and to see that students are still enrolled, students are still continuing, um, is an indication that we're headed in the right direction to accomplishing what we wanted to accomplish.
That's pretty amazing,
Yes.
and that's really good.
Yes.
Those are good numbers.
Yes.
Um, what's the future? What's the future for orientation? What's the future for On Deck at Tech?
Yeah. Well, On Deck at Tech is here to stay, and it just continues to grow in collaborating across the college or cross departmentally. So, for example, Tech Financial is something
Mhm.
that is coming up and being implemented. And so I look forward to collaborating more. We've already talked about how we're going to integrate that into our orientation within our modules, but also within the orientation day. And so referring students to that resource. Also, um, our Shocker Career Accelerator
Mhm.
program that has been helpful in students learning about, how they want to think about school after WSU Tech. So going on
Mhm.
to WSU to complete their degree, we have a lot more students signing up for that opportunity and getting that advising early so that they can develop a pathway that leads to them not only completing their certificate or technical degree, but also completing their bachelor's degree. And then offering multiple formats
Mhm.
so that they're flexible for our student schedules. Like I said, we have a diverse group of adult learners. And so looking to enhance how we offer the orientation online by integrating AI in some way, as well as an avatar enhanced experience.
Mhm.
I'm looking forward to exploring that and implementing that.
So maybe an on deck at Tech AI assistant.
Yes, on deck at Tech AI assistant that is interactive and engages the student, whether they're in person or primarily completing online.
So, Crystal, you're really working hard to get this off the ground and to take this program. And I'm so encouraged by the work that's being done,
Thank you.
and I'm super proud of the work that you're doing
Thanks.
and the focus that you have on the things that we wanted as outcomes of this.
Mhm.
But as you have this opportunity to talk to this broader audience, what do you need from all of us at WSU Tech? What would help advance your work? What would be helpful to continue to build this and to build the retention numbers and the success numbers that you're seeing?
Yes, I think communicating about this amazing experience and sharing it. I started last year participating in having a table at signing day,
Mhm.
which is a huge event for WSU Tech. So getting the message out early that this is something that we offer for students to ensure their success. I really feel like everyone is open to collaborating and working together. So, continuing to navigate and for people to help me make connections and to see, you know, what ways in which what they're doing can collaborate and enhance what it is that I'm doing to ultimately support student success. No,
And
I just was gonna say I feel like we have a good thing going,
uh-huh.
and I look forward to continuing to work on this initiative and again ultimately support students.
And it's in its baby phases, right? I mean, it is kind of in its
Yeah,
maybe toddler,
we're in the
maybe
toddler
in the toddler
phase.
phase.
We're nearing, the 3-year
Mhm.
mark, and we've certainly along the way have experienced some successes and then making necessary tweaks. I know we say a lot, build the plane as you fly it. And
Mhm.
so
Yep.
we have definitely built the plane, and so we're testing it out and like I said, experiencing some great things that ultimately support students. In fact, students who have done it and have maybe been a little bit apprehensive after they complete, new student orientation have greatly benefited from it. So a success story I can think about is a student who one of the assignments is a financial prep and planning assignment. And to fulfill that, they can complete a scholarship. And so they didn't know much about it, but they went through and completed the scholarship application through the foundation, and then they ended up being awarded the scholarship. So that was that was nice to hear from that student. I was apprehensive about doing this, but then
Mhm.
I did it and I ended up being awarded a scholarship. So
That's a great success story.
yeah, great success story.
Thank you for being on Tech Talk at
Mhm.
WSU Tech.
Mhm.
And it's a joy for me to celebrate your success, which is our student success. So I
Thank
hope everybody that's watching today can celebrate this new initiative and the work that's being done and the great job that we're doing to help our students be successful. Thank
Yes.
you.
Awesome. Thank you.